Welcome to Oh Brother, a podcast of three brothers trying to figure it all out, with your hosts, Brandon, Colin, and Aaron. On this week's show, slippery slope to a snorkel. Hello!
Ahoy!
It's working, this thing, and stuff.
Hooray for working. We love working. It's so great.
So, no, I was not talking about off-road tires. Obviously,
You were too. Don't even lie.
I was not. It's fine.
You were talking about how the different size of off-road tires can affect your gearing ratios.
I mean, it is
with our engineer father. That's what you were doing. Don't even lie.
It is important.
The truth.
It is important to think about these things, though, and that is actually one reason why people go with the 460 over a 4Runner is because right off the bat you can fit larger tires on it without any modifications of the suspension.
Oh Lord.
and they have wider wheel arches anyway, like the taller, so you can it actually, again, less modification of the body and all the underpinnings, but just, that just a little bit more aggressive. Again, the phrase that will break me.
Just a little bit more. That's the
yeah, just a little bit. Because here's what happens, right? Here's what happens. You go in for that first new tire set and you just say just a little bit more aggressive, right? Then you run those and then you come back and you say just a little bit more aggressive.
Yeah,
and then over the course of
you have a 4-inch lift on your car.
Exactly, because they'll start saying, "Oh man, we can't put any larger,
go any bigger than that." Yeah,
unless, and you go, "Tell me more," and then you're like, "Well, I'm already this far." So it's just the slippery slope into an overlanding rig and a snorkel is where we're.
The slippery slope into a snorkel. Yes, of course.
That's
the next obvious step.
Quite literally, in some cases, you need the snorkel with a slippery slope.
True.
So, but yes, it is slippery slope to snorkel. I gotta write that down.
Yes, I am once again hanging my head in my hands, listeners. I am. I am aghast and yet not surprised at all in the same breath. So,
I mean, it's there are worse things in the world, and
that's true. That is true.
That's how we should. That's exactly how we should go and compare ourselves to others. Well, yes. I could be doing worse things, so therefore,
obviously, yeah, I'm fine.
I'm fine. That is the.
That's how it works, of course.
Gosh. So, no, it's all working. I figured out the trick. Last we spoke, I had said that there's this weird thing of that the side mirrors weren't tilting down when you put it in reverse, but sometimes it was, and I thought it had to do with a parking sensor proximity and stuff. Yeah. I was very wrong. It turns out that there's a little switch to toggle between whether you're adjusting the left side mirror or the right side mirror. When this toggle is switched so that they are not, it's like a cantilever thing, right? Where you flop it over to one side and flop it back. Yeah. But when one's down, one's up, there's a middle position. And my OCD nature places it in the middle position because it is symmetrical and nice. And however, in this position, it deactivates the auto turning down of the side mirrors when you put it into reverse. So the only yes, this is how you deactivate that. And it makes sense because if you're not expecting it, it is quite off-putting, right? And it does actually remove some of the information necessary. Like, I don't know, if you're backing up around something tall, right? You don't want these things just, down. So
I guess, yeah.
So, but they put the active versus inactive nature of this onto this little switch. And so in order to have it activated, you have to choose either left mirror or right mirror, and then it will actually do this behavior. If you don't want it to do this during reversing, you put it in the middle position.
So does it matter if it's left or right? Or does it do both mirrors regardless?
Yes.
Does it just turn that into like an on-off?
That's the on-off situation. There are two.
So it's an on-off switch.
Yes, it is indeed.
Yes.
It is, yes, which is,
Okay.
So I thought this was I figured that out today because I was like, what in heavens is going on? And because I just parked and like there was nothing around me, and then I parked. I'm sure if people thought they thought I was crazy because I was like getting like super close to them. And I was like, I was like, it's beeping, so surely I'll turn, and nothing. But and then I had to actually adjust the side mirrors, and I left it there, and then it activated, and I was like, oh, that's what this is going. Okay, cool.
It's a bit strange, but
yeah.
All right, I guess I had to assign it somewhere, right? You gotta put it someplace.
Yeah,
So,
you don't want to add another switch just for that feature, or bury it into or bury it in some menu, under across different screens.
That would be worse.
Yeah.
So but sneaking it into as a secondary function of a switch that already has a job,
and there's
kind of odd.
And there's no other markings. Right, if you look at the function rows on your keyboard, like there's a little symbol that says what else that thing does. Which is a great technique for UI and communicating information, but that was not there. Lexus engineers were just like, no, let them discover this.
Yeah, whatever. I guess that's fine.
Yeah, so
interesting.
So that's learning that kind of stuff. It's all good.
There you go. You learned a thing. That's good.
I did learn a thing. Also,
yeah.
I was contacted by a client today, potential client, who said looking for boarding over Thanksgiving, to which I guffawed internally because it is, and I just said, well, and I said also, like, we don't provide that. We come to your home. And I was telling her about that service, and she goes, well, I don't think that's going to work. And I was like, oh, why? And she said, I have 4 dogos trained for self-defense. And I went, oh, this will not work. This will indeed not work at all. The Dogo Argentino is
heavenly days. My goodness.
Yes, she has.
I can throw some stakes at it from afar, and
4 of those. 4 of those. She has a puppy, she has 2 females, and she has an unaltered male. Developed for big game hunting, murdering, including wild boar, and are a very very common like home defense protection dog.
Yeah,
and
things are big and
they are big,
aggressive.
Yes, they are, and they're very intimidating, and they have a disposition of not liking other people. Right there, again, no such thing no such thing as an aggressive breed. They have to be socialized to an extreme to get them comfortable.
They need a lot more work than
they have to. Yes, they do. And so I wouldn't be comfortable doing this by myself, let alone sending in 7 other individuals into this home over the course of a week, because I have 3 people that work for me during the week and 3 people that work for me on the weekends. So plus me. So it's like I can't know. And then I remembered that in our insurance, we actually have a clause that says we are unable to care for police animals, murderous. Just doggos, pretty much.
Cujos allowed.
No. Right. And I mean, they're beautiful dogs. They're wonderful. They're super impressive. But like, but like, yo, come on. Yeah. So we backed out. I just said, no, that's not going to work. Not going to work.
Yeah. I don't know. I guess maybe I'm just a naive boy, just living my life in rural Missouri, not really worrying about such things. Anytime I see somebody online or someplace like that has like, I have this dog trained for defense of my house living with me. I'm always like, really? Why? Like those ones, what are those other ones? There's like King Corso dogs. They're like,
oh yeah, no,
that can be trained for like Mondo, like
yes,
they have to be socialized a certain way. Like
King Corsos and
somebody
Dogos
has
are
them trained
pretty much the same. Yeah,
yeah, you can't go near them.
Yeah,
because they'll just like bite your hand off, like because they're so protective of whatever, because they've been trained, they've been put through a program to be trained that way. It's like, what are you doing? Why? Like, I don't understand the need for this. Again, maybe it is my naivete, right? Me just randomly living in a rural town where I don't have to worry about people abducting me or whatever, right? But like, this is a very strange thing to me, and I don't understand the need for murder dogs in your house, right? I don't get it.
And again, we're not saying that all dogs, but here's the thing: is that they are predisposed.
No, but
to
the people that say
actively.
I have trained my dog specifically to be an attack/guard dog,
right? It makes no sense to me. It makes no sense to me
because I trained my dog for protection. Like,
yeah, I don't understand that. At that point,
I guess I had it trained, right? Because there's like professional people that do this.
Well, yeah. So there's the difference.
Quote, professional.
So
right?
You can get on. There is definitely dog talk that has. It's very, very sad to watch the quote unquote trainers doing this kind of work. But there's a professional trainer from a reputable breeder, and it's weird because like a reputable breeder, like the breed standards for each and every single one of these are like none of them say murder dog. Like all of them are like great dog. Like, but it's the irreputable, it's the disreputable. I don't know what's the proper word for that, but yeah, it's the bad breeders that breed in those and don't select for that. They just go for the looks or other characteristics, and then the temperaments get pushed to the wayside. And then if they're not extensively, like there's the I have a defensive dog because I trained it, and then there's the I have a defensive dog because I did nothing for my dog and it's codependent on me and it won't let anybody near me because I've been inactive in sense. But the people who go actively out and like send their dogs to defensive school.
Yeah, I'm talking about that person.
No, that right. is so weird to me.
Yeah, I'm not talking about the random person that just leaves his Rottweiler outside, so it's just really angry, like the junkyard, like the prototypical like junkyard dog just like just writhing around outside eating scraps of meat from the junkyard. I'm not talking about that. Yeah, that's weird, but I'm not talking about. I'm talking about the people that are like, I had my dog trained for this.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, what? Why?
Now, granted, will it be fun when they get a home invasion and from the darkness they can go fetch his soul and the dog attack? Like that would be sure. Like that's kind of neat.
I mean, yeah, but okay. So also the internet has like skewed my view of who has these dogs because it's all these like rich internet dudes that live in these like their houses are like already very secure, or they live in these places and they're like, I also have this dog because it's cool. Like, dude, what? No, that's not cool. I don't know how to tell you this, but that's lame. So like,
right at that point, just get like, sure, not everybody agrees, but like, would you rather have somebody have an attack dog or a handgun? Like, I don't know. Like, just it seems very like, in my mind, there's so much more that could go wrong around like friends and family with an attack dog as opposed to like a well secured, properly managed gun with it separated from the ammo. Like, why even have that risk and danger? Like this kind of thing of like, I have like this lady going, I have 4 of these in my home, and I'm like, why? What
did she want to board those?
Yes.
Like, what?
Yes. She wants to board those, and so I'm going. Okay, wait, like
I can't even come into your house, and you want to board them?
And you want them board. And here's the other thing of like, she has an intact dogo, which means that male dogo, which means nobody is touching that with a 10-foot pole.
No,
nobody. And
all the aggression.
Yeah, the problem is that some schmuck out there is going to go, oh yeah, I deal with aggressive dogs, blah blah blah. Oh no, my hand, like that's going to happen.
Yeah, right. Like
unfortunately, now all of the like extremely like high end reputable boarders, they're not going to take that on, and the people. And so she's unfortunately going to be placed in a situation where she's going with less reputable people who are going to take on a very large amount of risk, putting themselves, other dogs, and that dog into harm's way. And it just, I was really thinking about this as I was driving after I got off the phone with her, just like, what does this person do? Like, what, like, how do you,
like,
what is the solution here? Because it's not boarding and it's not having somebody coming into their home. So like,
just don't go anywhere.
Just don't go anywhere.
Right, that's your
This is
at home.
This is a different conversation than when I was contacted by a gentleman who does agility training with German Shepherds. Like he does the agility competitions and stuff with them.
Oh yeah.
I was like, okay, like I'll take that on, like, because the dogs are being bred for and trained for running fast and jumping.
Yeah,
like,
I need you to run my dog now, not like jog. This dog needs to be flying.
Yes. It's like, okay, I can take care of those dogs, but like dogs that are being actively trained and honed for like home invasions, no.
Yeah, no, that's no.
So, and what was funny is I was having one of my new staff members shadowing me, and I said, I just have to take this phone call. I'll be right back. We hadn't started the visit yet, so I said, we'll be there. I'll be there in about 5 minutes. I stepped to the side, have a conversation. I came back laughing, and she was like, what happened? And I explained to her, and she goes, those things are out there, and I was like, yeah. Like, yeah, unfortunately. And I said, this is why I take the phone calls before we send people into homes, because, to weed this kind of thing out.
Yeah, because I like my employees to keep their fingers. It's just a thing I have. It's just weird.
It's kind of weird. I know. Call me old fashioned. Whatever.
Call me old fashioned.
It's just like
all people lose limbs on the job. It's a whole thing.
Oh my gosh. So I've had so many weird conversations, and then earlier this morning I had a conversation with a gentleman who needed he said I needed pet care over Thanksgiving, and I was like, hey, I have availability over Thanksgiving, and I'm doing pet care. Ta-da!
Wow.
and he was like, okay, well, I have 4 dogs, and he said my landlord has been an absolute jerk, and I'm leaving over Thanksgiving to fly back home, and I'm also doing a job interview then. And my landlord's been a really big jerk, so I don't really care about the apartment. So I just need you to come over once a day.
What color flag is that I see? Oh.
Yes. Crimson red. Gosh. Oh my gosh. With spotlights on it and streamers and sparklers. And I was like, you just want us to come over once a day for your 4 dogs? He's like, yeah, because I don't really care about for the rental home, because my landlord's been an absolute jerk, and I just figure out leave him a mess for him before I leave. And I was like, no, I'm not taking part of that. And I didn't just say no outright. All I said was, well, we require a minimum of 2 visits a day. And honestly, with 4 dogs, we need to come over 3 times a day while you're traveling for a week.
Yeah.
Did I mention a week? You wanted 1 visit a day. So, had to backtrack out of that one too. And I knew as soon as I set my parameters and our price, he was going to be like, oh no, never mind. Bye-bye.
Yeah.
But, so I didn't even have to tell him no. I just said, oh, okay, well, here are our policies, and here are our procedures, and here's the price. So, and your answer is no. Yes, I knew that you would say that, but I just had to set some expectations there. So I don't understand it. I don't. People are bizarre.
Yeah. Yeah. Who could possibly foresee why he would think that his landowner was being a jerk to him? I wonder.
I know. And
I wonder what could be the trigger here.
Yeah. Yeah. I was very much. I was on the exact same wavelength of like, the landowner's the problem. The landlord's the problem. He's the. That's
or was
the
it
problem.
that? Or was it the fact that you moved 4 dogs into his apartment without signing a pet rental agreement? Could that be it?
Yeah.
Maybe that's.
Or that you have 4 dogs in an apartment and you think one visit every 24 hours is okay. Like,
yeah.
Yeah. If I was the landlord and a tenant moved in, maybe he signed the agreement and then he was the kind of pet owner who just left for 2 days and never checked his dogs.
Yeah, that could be. Yeah,
I'd be a bit anxious. Yeah, I'd be a bit angsty for sure. Absolutely. So
yeah.
It's like, oh, so today's been a whirlwind.
How exciting!
Because then I went to a networking event for businesses, and I was ripped up one side down the other because I didn't have a business card.
Oh yes, the favorite conversation of business cards are lame, and you're going to throw it away anyway.
So he was first off, he's a quote unquote business coach. And I always am now starting to say a quote unquote business coach because dear listeners, everybody can call themselves a business coach. Anybody in the world. It doesn't matter if you've ever run a successful anything.
Yeah, that's true.
Slap business coach on there. It's not impressive. Stop leading with I'm a business coach because it is completely and totally worthless and meaningless, and nobody cares about your stupid book. So,
you have to have 0 credentials to title that yourself. That you can just like make up a thing and be like, "I'm this." Like,
I know. It's like you don't actually have to do anything. And anyway, I was talking to him, and he was trying to tell me how to run a pet sitting business, and I was laughing internally. And then he said, "Well, here's my card. I'd love to talk with you about how you can raise your rates." And in my head, I was like, "I'm the most expensive business in like 5-hour radius from here. I don't need to raise my rates."
Yeah, I don't need that. That's not the problem.
Whatever. And he goes, "Do you have your business card?" And I patted my pants as I always do. And I said, "Oh, I don't have a card on me." And he looked at the person next to him and said, "That's the problem with business owners these days. They don't take this kind of thing seriously and they don't prepare, and that's why they fail."
See, you gotta stop playing like coy, like, "Oh darn, I do have some, but I don't forgot." You should have looked him square in his beady little rat eyes and said, "Business cards are for losers."
Well, so what I did was I turned to the person standing next to me and went, "I always throw away the business cards people give me." And then I put his business card in my pocket. And conversation done. And then he went on to talk to the person next to him, not to me, about the importance of details and how things get missed and blah, 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 blah. And I turned and walked away because it wasn't important. And
yeah, it's not like
I have gone to tons of those meetings. Everybody gives out business cards, and I say, "No, I don't have business cards." Technically, I do, but they're magnets, and I put them on my clients' refrigerators.
Oh yeah,
it's an actual business card. Because that was the other thing. He said before I left, I heard it, and I asked for a card the other day, and this guy gave it to me, and his name wasn't even on it. Can you believe that? And I'm like, "Oh, great. I'm glad I didn't have one on me," because they're, first off, again, they are magnets. And second off, my name's not on it. So, because why would I don't see a need for them. And I understand like business networking. Okay, you may want to swap contact information, but just, I'm sorry, dude, like pull out your phone and I'll give you my name.
The internet exists. Like,
like
you don't need a business card. I fully agree in this particular situation.
I don't
imagine what you should have done. You should have pulled out here's what a 6th grader would have said. Imagine having a business card in 2022.
Right.
That's what they would have said. That's all they would have said. They would have said that,
right,
and looked at you,
mm-hmm.
and then like turned around and left. That's what they would have. So there's your new. You can take that. That's a free from a 6th grade perspective. That's what they would have said. It would have been hilarious.
Yeah, and again, in some contexts I can see where it would be beneficial, especially when your business is business to business like that. I may be of some importance.
Well, okay, so maybe because if you are going to contact like Jim in accounting from another business because you need to do business with their right, like
yes,
maybe, but like also just here's my phone, here's my business, here's my company website with my contact information firmly on the employee page.
Yes, exactly.
Right, like I don't.
Yeah. This is the thing of like Funky Bunch. Like just go Google it. Like I just like Google me. Like it's like not that hard.
Yeah, man. Like yeah, that's why.
So,
yeah, I think you should just steal the. Imagine having business cards in 2022.
Imagine having business cards in 2022. Yeah. Oh, so that was fun.
It's pretty good.
And I did have that moment of like, do I need business cards? And then my rational brain kicked in and was like, no, no, you don't. You don't need them at all. Stop it.
I mean, clearly. So like, here's what you should think. Like, yeah, who are you going to give a business card to? Like, people call you like cold already. So what good does a business card do, right? Because you're offering a service to people. So like, what do you need one for?
Right. Like there's no layers here. And honestly, there never will be. Like I'm always going to answer the phone if we're being very real about this. And yeah, they'll just call me. Like it's fine. Like the number on the website. And then of course what did I do? I, in a very petty real sense, Googled him and
didn't find anything.
Bashed everything about his about his lack of online presence.
Yeah.
How about that?
Yeah. Nowhere to be found. Quote unquote business coach guy.
Oh my gosh. I know it's bad whenever they say the words, here I'm on his website right now.
Oh no. Oh no.
Okay. You can get your strategic sales coaching, your strategic referral coaching, or you can book him for public speaking. How to get the respect, how to get from prospect to closed sale. Develop marketing strategies to generate more referrals. Ooh, use the ultimate referral system for professionals and guidepost for doubling the number of quality referrals obtained.
Those are sentences that don't mean anything.
They don't. That's the thing. That's 10x your referral network in half the time.
That doesn't mean anything. Like that sentence, that's a whole sentence that has like no structure. I would like an English major to diagram that sentence and tell me how many extra words, I can't say the words I'm thinking of, are in there that are not necessary or contribute meaning to the sentence whatsoever. It's just nonsense talk. Superfluous. That's what I'm thinking of.
Yeah.
There we go. I got it. Yeah, that's much too much. I don't.
But Brandon, this referral strategy the referral strategies are the strategies used by producers who earn 6 and 7 figure income. Takes the mystery out of referral process.
Producers of what?
I don't know. Again, producers. What in what context? I'm not.
Are they farmers?
I know.
Are they? I mean, a farmer is a producer.
I guess. Well, so in this context, I'm going. Is a producer trying to talk about like a high functioning sales associate of like they produce results?
A music producer because in my mind, as a person who took economics class, a producer is a person that makes things, right? Also, yeah, my biology food web brain is telling me producers make stuff, right?
Oh,
Whereas consumers consume things. So a producer is like a plant, right? Yes, this is biology, ecology 101 here. Producers make energy, right? And then consumers eat it. So there are no other words in these sentences to give me any context whatsoever about what you mean when you say producer. I know that you think that means something very specific and important. However, to a person like me, to which the word producer means like 12 different things, I don't know what you're talking about.
So this person, this is okay, so let's be very real. This is stuff I do all day. I look at websites and I read things and I critique them and I look at copy and I try and make sure ours doesn't look like this. This is a person. This is a person trying to sell a $200 book and recordings, audio recordings with a manual and sales tools. $200 for this. This is the first sentence underneath this. Each person's minds goes thought a certain sequence when they make a buying decision.
You're joking.
Nope. Goes thought a certain sequence when they make a buying decision. The key is to know how to follow the process to make the sales process flow. If you're serious about learning how to become skilled at selling, this system is for you. The system I used to become a top producer for one of the franchises I owned. The system, right?
Again, a producer. What are you producing? What are you doing?
He produces results. And then
if you're going to be a producer, you have to be manufacturing something, growing a food crop, or be a plant producing energy from photosynthesis.
Or own a franchise. Then he closes.
That's not what a producer is.
Here he's going to round us. He's going to round us out here. He says, "I was competing with about 800 different franchisees in all the large cities. One year, I was in the top 10 out of the 800 franchises when it came to sales. The strategies, skills, and techniques are what you'll discover in this process." Very importantly here, when it came to sales, doesn't mean he was a good business owner or operator or
employee
happiness. Actually made money.
You That's also if you're selling things, you're not a producer.
Yeah,
that's not how this works. Producer means you're making something.
Yeah.
Right? That's what it boils down to. You have to make something. So this is a terrible word. Also, I know that you should never say was working with about and then a number. You should just commit and say, this is my wife. This is what she has yelled at me about every time I write things. I write like this sometimes.
Yeah.
And she will say,
we all do.
She says like, this is not strong language. Get it out. Not allowed.
Yes.
Slap.
Yes. Yeah. So it is not strong language. It is poorly edited because there are just straight up missing and misspelled words.
Well, it's not edited, right? This is the problem. This is the problem with the internet. Like people think I can print whatever I want, and then they forego editing. And then you get this as a browser, right? You get this as a browser. Like, oh no.
Oh, and here's his ridiculous saying. It was on his business card.
Oh no! Ready? Not a slogan.
He has
not
a slogan.
Personal slogan.
It's a personal. It's very and it's so inspirational. Are you ready to be inspired?
Yes, but that reminds me. I have a new slogan sign in my classroom that I need to share with you.
Yes. Great. Okay. It is probably not as good as this.
I don't know. It's pretty great.
It is probably
inspired by Mr. Shannon.
Okay. Oh. Okay. Well, fine. Okay, fine. That immediately wins because this one is ready.
Yes.
Eagles soar, turkeys get eaten.
Only because it's illegal to hunt eagles.
Right?
If it was illegal to hunt turkeys, turkeys would not get eaten.
Thanks, Thomas Jefferson.
Yeah. I'm saying for a while it was illegal to hunt turkeys in Missouri because they were endangered. There was like 12 turkeys.
I was going to say there's exactly 12.
And now there's like 7 billion. So look at there. There you go. Yeah, no, I have a new sign in my classroom that a kid made me, and it says, "Be a winner, not a whiner."
Yes. So much better. So much better. Not absolutely. Yes. Absolutely.
Man, that's bad. Evil sword. That's horrible. So sounds like something our superintendent would say. And I would just like walk out of the meeting like, no, get out.
With a big smile on his face, just like super proud of like I said something that was like boom. Like
like I was clever. Like no, you weren't.
Yeah.
That was awful. Oh man. I need to read some like Carl Sagan quotes after this to really get my IQ back up a little bit higher. That's what I need in my life right now. Bolster that.
It hurts. It hurts so bad.
That is pretty terrible.
So I was just like, and he was talking about his mastermind group and blah, 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 blah. And
again, just look at him and be like, imagine not knowing what a producer is. And then give him like a weird side eye look, like, like,
I'm just scrolling. Oh, okay, it's such a terrible website. Oh my gosh. Okay, anyway, I'm getting off this.
Man.
So,
for a much better website, listeners, visit the Oh Brother website where you can find all archived conversations and episodes
with show notes.
With show notes,
with more links than you'll ever really need in
your life. Yeah,
there's
true.
So much.
But
I mean, let's just go through trash tier jelly beans. What kind of quality? There's an almanac link for using persimmon seeds to predict your weather. There's also an article here about why peppermint is the unofficial Christmas flavor, which is such a good in-depth article.
True. Right? Also, side comment: Brahms has seasonal ice creams, and they definitely just have a straight up peppermint ice cream.
Ooh.
It's actually good. I had it today because I was curious. I needed to know what that was
just
like.
Straight peppermint.
Yeah, it's just peppermint.
It's really good. Wild. Okay.
Yeah, it's good though. It's like vanilla ice cream with peppermint in it. It was good. I enjoyed it a lot. All right. Anyway.
Side note: Brahms peppermint.
Yeah. There you go. So when you're trying to decide your third favorite ice cream, take into account seasonal holiday ice cream. It's important. Right. We gotta go.
Okay, so maybe we may have to rank best ice cream holidays.
Oh man. Oh no.
Premium peppermint.
Yeah. Pretty good.
Yeah. Uses fresh grade A whole milk. Ooh, stabilizer blend.
Yes. That's the important part. The stabilizer blend, obviously. That's what makes it.
Carrageenan and mono.
It's best to not read ingredients for fast food ice cream.
No. And look, show notes will include a link to premium peppermint ice cream.
Oh, that's great.
So there's that. There's that funness.
Yes, fun side. Now, on to other fun things. I need to ask you a question.
Okay.
All right. This was a conversation I had on the way to work this morning with Susan. I do remember. I saw a truck on the side of the road. And I was basically going, why is there a truck on the side of the road? What's happening? In my mind, I was doing this. And then I saw that it was a MODOT truck. And I was like, okay, that makes sense. But then I thought, wait a minute. Does the Missouri Department of Transportation have the best shorthand name? Because other states can't call theirs MODOT, right?
Nope.
So, and I was thinking about a lot of the other states, and they're much worse than MODOT, right? MODOT is great. Rolls off the tongue, right? Minnesota, Yeah, MODOT. Like, what even do you do?
Well, yeah, because then California CADOT, FLDOT. The one, okay,
these are
I
not
will.
good. Maybe Hawaii, like
Hawaii.
HIDOT is good.
HIDOT. Texas, TxDOT, is not as bad. It's not as good because it's not as flowy. But
True.
That's how they say it. They say TxDOT. What?
Illinois would be okay. ILDOT is not too bad.
No.
But like West Virginia? VDOT? Like what? Right? What are you doing?
MODOT is it's much more whole, I think, is what it doesn't sound like an acronym really. It's just a word.
Yeah. And so it's other state abbreviations that have vowels are less jarring, right? Because that makes the word pattern make sense, right? Because you'll have like consonant, vowel, consonant, vowel, consonant.
Right.
But the ones that are like two consonants, it's three consonants in a row, vowel, consonant again. And it's just no, not working. Right? Like except for maybe like Alabama, I guess ALDOT, you could call that, right? Maybe that's all right. Yeah. But like Mississippi, you're like dot, that doesn't work. Unless they just say like MS dot, but that's more clunky. Maybe, I don't know. But this was just a thought I had on the way to work this morning. It's a far superior name than a lot of other, like Kansas. Like, what do they call theirs? Snot. That doesn't work.
I firmly agree. MODOT is definitely far superior to other states.
We have one thing. Look at that. Boom.
Oh, look,
Missouri
so
has
many
a
things.
Thing. Look at that.
We've got lots of things.
Stuff. Lots of things. But we have that.
No, it's perfectly fine. Fine. I have been seeing more and more of the assisting trucks around Springfield, around town. The ones that they're not police, they're like the helper trucks. Have you seen these?
No. Down here in rural Missouri, we have the white trucks.
Yeah,
they're like pickup trucks.
Yes, the white pickup trucks. Yeah, I've been seeing more and more.
That's what was on the side of the road this morning.
Oh, hey, there you go. Yeah, where it's not the police, but it's the like, hey, stranded car, do you need a gallon of gas? I have that for you.
Is that what they do? They do that?
Yeah, they'll drive around. At least the ones that I've seen, and they usually have like, did this one have like lights or a sign on the back and
stuff?
Lights,
which is why I was looking at it funny. I was like, what is that? What is that?
Yeah, so they're like these little helper vehicles, and they were all over the place in Dallas. Like there were so many of these things, and it was because cops were getting called to do like, hey, there's a car here. They stalled. They ran out of gas. They need gas. They need a tire change. They need a tow truck called. They need blah, blah, blah.
Yeah. Well, and if we know that there's one thing that the Springfield Police Department will not do is help you in any meaningful way at all ever. That's what we
They really take serve and protect heavily on the protect thing and really think that
this is not a new phenomenon either, right? Least we think that these comments are made in light of current world events, right? No. This has a long history in Springfield.
Proud history
of them being like, nope.
Well, anyway. Yeah. So these trucks are meant to take some of that burden off, so that the police officers wouldn't have to worry about it.
I once my car broke down at the intersection of National and Battlefield.
It's a good place.
Okay. Yeah. Just a light traffic area.
Wait.
And I was sitting there at the stoplight pondering what on earth I was going to do here. And a policeman came up and was like, "What are you doing?" And I was like, "Well, my car just stopped working." And he goes, "All right, you better get it moved," and then drove off. And I was like, "What?" You're not even like push me with the
No.
bumper? Like, we had to do something? He was like,
Can't do
better
that.
get it moved quick, and then left. And I was like,
That
well,
sucks.
that's cool. How handy.
And what he
was
did is he
that?
started a timer so he could come back and check to see if he could give you a
Yeah, and
ticket
then
for
probably give me a
blocking.
ticket for, yeah. I was like, dude, I'm just like completely. And this would have been like 2003 or 4. All right. So this is not like recent history. This is some dude's just like, well, you better move it. Like, and left. Like, thanks, man. I'm really glad that you could offer me any assistance and serve me in any way possible.
Yeah, they're not big fans of that.
But that's cool that MODOT's doing that. That's interesting.
Yeah, it's MODOT,
nice.
And yeah, I'm trying to think of what they're actually called. They're just like emergency response trucks or whatever, and yeah, they're kind of coming around to help with that, and I think that's nice because also they have flashing lights to divert traffic around things or check on people, and instead of having the police officers have to do that. So I've been seeing a lot more of those, which is very good. I think that's a needed
that's handy.
asset.
So the Springfield Police Department can just like polish their tank and like yeah, that's what they'll do. There's nothing, so that'll be handy. Good job, MODOT, on doing that.
yeah, with your tiny budget where you can't actually like. I don't know how they
some
get
years you
anything
can't
done.
even afford salt.
Yeah,
and yet here we are doing a thing. Boy,
yeah. So, yeah. What's new in your world?
Not a lot really. We did some last minute change of lesson plans today on the fly. On the way to school, I was like, wait, this idea sounds better.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, I mean, it's fine. We did some switcheroos today. Because so we're gonna do our next little unit is we're gonna talk about like we're talking about Mesopotamia, everyone's favorite, right? Longtime listeners of the show will know, big fan.
Everyone knows.
Yeah, I know. And so, but it's the part where we're talking about like the laws and stuff, when we're talking about your boy Hammurabi and all that stuff, right? The Hammurabi Code and everything. But some of our questions and some of our discussion in some of our like standards are about like comparing it to modern day things, right? So we're going to talk about the laws and like how they were enforced, and then compared to like modern day justice system, right? And so if you just say that to a 12-year-old like cold with no context, they'll read the thing about the Mesopotamian deal and then they'll be like, I don't know how to answer this, because I mean, I've seen Law and Order, but I don't know how the U.S. justice system works, right? I don't understand how a court works, which is fair.
Fair.
Right?
It's fair. Okay. It's fine. Yeah.
Yeah. And so, like, I mean, some of them today were like, yo, I watched some of that Johnny Depp Amber Heard trial. I was like, that, not exactly what we're talking
how
about,
it works.
but okay.
No,
yeah.
100%.
So we had a mock trial in my classroom today.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. We went full blown crazy. I found some stuff online and just print off like, oh, here's like, it was like a low key thing, but it was like this kid was accused of throwing rocks or something. And like we just sort of walked through the parts, like, here's the judge, this is his job, blah, blah, blah. Here's the attorneys there, the prosecutor does this, the defense attorney does this. Here's the jury. This is what their job is. And then I had witnesses and they would like read their little script, like, here's what I saw, here's the facts of the case, blah, blah, blah. And then I made the jurors like vote and see, and then they got to pick whether or not the guy was guilty or innocent. So it was pretty good. But we did all that today. And so I was like, all right. I told the kids too. I was like, all right, I decided this morning to change my plans. So know that this may be a little rough, but I think this will be more fun than what we were going to do. So
this may be painful, but it's all for you. Now deal with it.
Yeah, it'll be good. It'll be fine. So that was fun today. That was kind of hilarious.
Oh, that's nice.
So we'll see tomorrow if it worked, if they can answer the question or not. Because I told them that's why we're doing this, because we're going to learn about how they used to do things. So we have to be able to compare it to how things work now. So today we're learning about how it works now. So
that's important. That's really helpful. I learned really well with that kind of thing. I'm thinking back to when I would take some like advanced ecology or physiology courses, like learning a lot of times it was easier to learn a system like in a broken state before you go back to learn something different, or learning something so you can compare it to. That comparison process really helps a lot of the understanding, not just for those questions on the test of like explain the 3 differences between these systems. There's that, but then there's just you can pin it back to something in your brain and you can anchor it to like, I know that. Okay, now I can pull out the differences, and it really does help cement it a lot better in your brain.
Yeah, that's kind of what I was thinking. Like, we need to give them something to compare it to. This will help more than like watching some video or like, whatever. Like, if we do this and kind of like act it out, and they can be silly with it, I don't really care. Like, that's fine. They're, they can do whatever. And so, we'll do that, and then hopefully that'll help them kind of think about it a little bit. Plus, then maybe in 7th or 8th grade, when they have to learn about like government stuff, they might be like, "Oh yeah, I remember something about this." Like, so maybe, who knows? But
did I tell you I got called in for jury duty?
No.
Did we discuss this? No. Okay, my massive panic attack that I had because of it, because I was in the middle of
that's on brand, yeah.
Right. Hey, look, at least I'm consistent. This is in the middle of the meltdown of like losing a bunch of staff members, and I was doing all of these visits. I didn't have anybody to cover anything, and then I get called in for jury duty, and who's going to cover my stuff? So I had to like beg and plead people to come and do things, and I went up there. And I've talked about this before of how certain systems in society and culture just assume everybody knows about them. Of like, well, that phrase, well, obviously. I talked about this in the context of checking into a hospital when I had to go do the process of like,
oh yeah. Well, the blood thing, the blood lab thing,
the blood, and they were like, well, obviously you sit here, and obviously you will look at the tiny screen monitor up on the wall for your number, and okay. Guess what system is even worse than all of this? The court system.
I mean, are we surprised by this?
Oh my gosh! Like things like they have advanced to the extent of sending out text messages and email notifications. However, is the text message and email notification filled with the same information for the mailing slip that they send to your home?
Yes.
No.
Oh.
No.
Oh.
I and me not being present to receive mail only got the text notification that said report for jury duty X date at X time at the courthouse. And I was like, great. So, I went home first and there was mail there, and there was so much more detailed information for things that I sure would need to know to go over, like including I had to bring the mailer to me to hand in something that I wasn't planning on doing. Like, you have to take in the mailed thing that they give to you and turn that in when you arrive to check in for jury selection. If I had just showed up and been like, yo, I got a text, they would have gone, and where's your thing? And then I would have gone home. And then they would have probably jailed me for trying to skip out on being jury. Yeah, whatever. Exactly. Right. And we all showed up and we sat down, and I'm freaking out because it's in the morning and I just want to leave, and as everybody does, and there's like 50 people filling the courtroom going to be selected for this jury, and it's like delayed, and they're not telling us anything, and there's no like what this process is going to look like. Nobody's told me anything. Like, I don't even know I still to this day don't know how that process looks like. Like, do they call you up one by one? Do they ask questions, and if you raise your hand, they kick you out? Like,
yeah, they do jury interviews, right? Like to decide on things, right? So it's a combination of like, just like interviews with the attorneys will interview you, and say like they'll ask you questions about like, first of all, like, do you know the defendant? Like, if you're like, yes, like, okay, goodbye.
But like you would think, like, in my mind, like, you're asking people to show up for a process. Like, it would be nice to have some of that information. And of course, this is just my brain because I overthink stuff. I'm sure many people are just like, wee, adventure. But I'm more like, okay, but what's step 2? What's step 3? What are we doing here? How's this going to work? Anyway, to cut the story it's not very interesting, short. The guy who was there to be charged ended up changing his plea to guilty because it went to jury selection, and he, realized, oh, actually, this is not going to go well for me. And
I'll take the deal.
He took the deal. Yes. And then they came out, and the one thing that they did explain was, well, you're not needed today. However, you are still part of the jury selection pool for this. What did he say? This
there's like a term of service. Right?
Yes,
like,
term. Yeah. Yes, for this term. And the term ends in December. And so you will get called again.
Well, I mean, you could get called again.
No. They said you will get called again. Dang. And as I was leaving, I heard a clerk say, I just feel really bad for all the jurors for this term because it's just going to be really insane.
That's confusing, but all right.
Well, because they have so many things on the docket or whatever.
So many cases going through.
They're trying to get them in by the end of the year. And I'm like, oh my gosh. Like,
yeah. But there's like a term. So yes. I mean, normally if you've been called and been selected and come down
3 years,
then like you'll be like, well, I mean, even if you came down today, then you'll go to the end of the line of people, right? Like,
I guess
should, in theory. We know that the system doesn't work well. So
yes,
perhaps it won't, but in theory, it ought to revert back to the end and should be something different. So,
but who knows? So
that's true.
That was fun. I was excited about that. So I sat there for 2 hours waiting for something to happen. Nothing did until the very end.
When you just left. So.
And I left.
Well, that's good at least, right? Yeah. That's really good.
Yeah. And they were like, you can go and get your check for X number of dollars, whatever, for showing up today.
Oh, yeah, for your 2 hours. So you're $2. Probably.
Yeah. It was like, I am going home. Like, sure. Because then they were like, that was the most procedural part, of course, was the like explaining the money part and like, please make sure that you do cash these within 30 days because the assessor's office of the county will, basically like hunt you down, blah, blah, blah.
Blah, blah, blah.
And I was like, well, I'm leaving. I need to go home.
Yeah, I know what I'm doing on my way home. Swing by the bank on the way home. So
gotcha.
The county clerk doesn't come to my house. And like...
Right, yeah. They will. That'll be my luck.
Obviously.
Oh my gosh.
I'll just send you another text that doesn't have all the information.
Show up here. Yeah, it was definitely like a drop of like date, time, check for your tail. Like it was just like, oh my gosh, like,
oh dear.
So because it was nothing. There was no hyperlink to more information. It was just like all caps with the location and time.
Oh my goodness, what the heck?
It's like, well, I'm either going to be on a jury or abducted. We're going to find something out. Jeez.
Good grief. Oh man, no good at all.
No, it's not. It's not good. Not even one.
Oh. Yes, I've learned working with 12-year-olds that it's very important to just like say all the steps of things that are going to happen. Because if you don't, chaos will ensue, and like it just go sideways in a hurry. So maybe need some lessons. I'm gonna hang out with more 12-year-olds. They'll learn real quick. You got
I know. It's like it doesn't take much time to like, hey guys, while we sit here and wait, like here's how this process typically works. Many of you, because they like as we were coming in, the lady said, have you been selected for a jury before? Or like, have you been through this process before? And nobody said yes. Like everybody in that room was brand new. So why not have a little tutorial, a little peek behind the curtain, open the kimono a bit and let us see how it works on the inside? Like just why not? Why not do that? And I know they're not there for education and that kind of thing. Like they're to get the bad guy, but it would be a really good part of community involvement and partnership, like to help that be much more of a partnership, instead of just show up, sit on a cold bench and wait for 2 hours and then we'll tell you to leave.
True.
Sweet. This is nice. This is very, thank you. I definitely feel like I've served my community.
Yeah. So yeah, that's unfortunate because that is annoying. Like you just can't assume that people know things. That's what I've learned. Like people don't know anything. You just have to like tell them. And even if they do know, they're like, "Oh, thank you for reminding me because I didn't remember," or you know what I mean. Like it's never bad to hear it again, right? That's a problem that happens a lot at school, right? Because they talk about things like, "Oh yeah, well we've covered this, so everybody knows how to do it."
Yep.
But then you realize the last time we talked about it was 2 years ago, and there's like, definitely 2 handfuls of like brand new employees that haven't ever heard it before. So they're like, "What? What's happening? What are you guys talking about? What's going on?" So people aren't on the same page. It's like a whole thing. Blah, blah. No good, right? Like it's
yeah. Or again, people have slept since then. There are nuances that have changed. Or the first time you told somebody, they were distracted. They didn't actually hear you. And as an educator, I know that most people learn the very first time you tell them. Anytime, right?
That's the hilarious part.
It's a known fact.
That's the hilarious part about working in education is like everybody knows that's true, right? Everybody knows that, like they know in their daily life in the classroom that you can't tell people just once a thing.
Yeah,
like, that, right? Even though, like, some people are like, back in my day, I was just told one time. Sure, okay, whatever. But like, everybody knows this, and yet that's how everybody operates when they talk to people. Like, all the time. It's the worst. It's like so annoying.
It applies to everybody else but them, right? Because they're so good.
Yeah, because everyone thinks like, well, I heard it the first time. Like, did you? Did you really?
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Maybe.
No. Yeah, definitely not.
Yes. So I'm glad that you didn't have to be selected for like very protracted trial. That was like months of trial, right? That would be good. That would be
because the again we were really moving in that direction because I did look out and I saw through the door a gentleman being walked back to the back room where I knew all the like the judge and everybody else was. He definitely was shackled, hands and feet with the little chain going in between them.
Yeah.
Escorted by 4 guards through back there. And I don't know what's standard or not standard because they don't say, but it's like, is 4 like, do they ever escort less than 4? Is it?
I mean, 4 seems like a lot, but
indeed. So I was like getting ready. I was like, oh, okay. Like this could be. I don't know how trials go. So never. I won't find out for a while, I guess.
Yeah, it's true.
So I'm glad your kids got to experience a trial. It's good.
Yeah, it was fun. I hope we'll see tomorrow if it did any good or not. So we'll see. But it was at least fun today. We got to break up the monotony slightly of doing things. So, yeah, that's pretty much it. Nothing else too new on the horizon. I think that's it. That's all new I have.
Oh, okay. Well, see what happens next time then.
Yes.
Get ready for more cold weather. It may snow.
Yeah,
It's may snow soon.
Is it really? What?
Yeah,
maybe not here, maybe
no,
there, but
no. It's yeah. We got
Susan will be cross to hear that.
Kansas City had flurries earlier this week.
They really?
Yeah, they did.
It was like 78 degrees here today. That's ridiculous.
Yeah.
Friday it's going to be like 39. So there you go.
Yeah. No. Check out next Monday and Tuesday. We were supposed to get some precipitation.
Yeah, we're supposed to get rain on Monday, I think.
Yeah, and they said there was possibility of it getting cold. Cold. Yeah, there is a chance of snow Monday into Tuesday next week.
Well, Susan will be very cross to hear this.
Yeah. Currently, Weather Underground and reported by another one as well, saying Monday. It says 1 inch of precipitation on Monday, and there's a little snowflake next to it too.
Well, all right. See how that goes.
Yeah, man, we really do fall off a cliff.
Yeah,
it's just 20s overnight for the next. Oh my gosh. Okay.
Yeah, that's because 78 in November is ridiculous. Nobody needs that. Like,
no. I mean, I have been driving around with all my windows down, which has been glorious. But well, not anymore.
I mean, yeah. I mean, you could still. It'd be fine. Let some of the snow in there. It'd be all right.
Yeah, I mean, it can be again, much like last week. Touch the weather. Just be, you can't open your own windows. You do what you can.
It's true.
We'll see how that goes. We'll see how that goes. So, yeah. Until then, love you.
Love you too.
Bye.
Bye.